showing you a little bit of the space that I moved into January 1st. It just manifested this incredible house, a pet sitting job for 4 months. And it just couldn't be more timely because I'm really going through a lot, as many of us are. Working through these layers of trauma and emotional repression. I dumped a big parasite 2 nights ago after going through a few days of really intense symptoms, but also huge, I was getting some facilitated sessions and working through just huge amounts of emotion, rage, anger, and grief, of course, all of it's coming through. And so one of the insights I want to share is about just being a HSP, like hypersensitive being, and having this completely open emotional center in my human design. And, I've always wondered about that center, just not sure what it was, but what the clarity I'm having is like this whole time for over a decade now, it's been about learning how to work with the sensitivity of this body and how much of the emotional field I'm constantly taking in. And finally, so over the years, the way it's worked is it's built and built and built over time, and then I'll have these like huge breakdowns and huge releases, and I thought there was something wrong, or it was so traumatic. But now it's to the point where I'm normalizing these huge releases on a daily basis, and probably with what's going on now in the world and just in myself, just even a couple times a day releasing, because there's so much discomfort in the body, like the symptoms, the fatigue is really strong. And so just seeing the importance of a daily routine of clearing out the emotional center, that's kind of my work. It's my new normal. And I even think the way with Pluto moving into Aquarius that a lot of people are going to have to make it normal to have emotional releases and to get to the place where we can welcome in these emotions, because all of us, most 99.9% of the population that's here has had to suppress, repress emotions and take on false beliefs about ourselves, and we split off from our authentic self because we had to survive in dysfunctional, dangerous, toxic situations as children. And so we stuffed it down, and we have separated from our original self. And it's devastating. It's like there's so much grief coming through about that, and anger about that I had to separate, just completely cut myself off from my original self in order to survive. And a lot of people with Pluto and Aquarius is the sign of trauma. And so Pluto is going to be dredging up people's trauma in order so that we can do this work, each individual do this work that I'm doing now. I'm a manifester. I'm here to go first. I'm here to pave the way, be a way shower. Like, I want to see on every street corner safe rooms where people can go and have meltdowns on a regular basis. We would be a healthier world if we could all learn how to do that, learn how to do what I'm learning now. Because we're going to need it. There's so much bullshit going on. There's so much tragedy. There's so much loss. People are getting really sick. There's a lot to be angry about. And there's a lot to be grieving. And And it's the way we come back home to ourselves. We clear out and we purify the traumas and the nervous system, and by feeling into our repressed emotion. Now, the reason it's called repressed is because we're not even aware of it for most of the time, but that repression is running our lives. It's running the lives. It's keeping us in suffering and keeping the stories of deficiency alive. So at a certain point in our journey, we're willing to see, or we're willing and able to hold the space for these repressed emotions, because it's not fun, it's not easy, it's exhausting, and it's scary. Of course, it's scary to the little one, it's scary to the nervous system, because to feel these feelings meant loss of love, it meant death to our innocence, to our little child. The loss of love and connection with our caregivers equals death and aloneness and all that stuff. So it is very intense and scary to go into these emotions, but we're gonna have to. Like, there's a mass awakening coming, meaning people are gonna wake up to all the lies we've been told, to the fact that they've been living a lie, that they haven't been in alignment with themselves. And that's going to require doing the work, doing this deeper work. Now, I want to say also that cultivating the presence, cultivating the connection with the true being, which is untouched by everything moving and changing. So the who we actually are and where this work is leading us, leading me, is back to remember the true being and being able to rest in the peace and the joy of this moment, to bring ourselves back to the innocent child, the wildness and awe and beauty that a child has. That's our original, that's our true nature. And our true being has never been touched by the stories. And yet this phase is so important, and it's okay to feel personal, feel like it's personal, like I'm doing right now, just going in and really picking apart my own stories that I'm telling myself, or where I'm still believing that I'm a failure, and all of it, the old belief system, being a failure, being unfixable, feeling like the world is unfixable, feeling powerless against my angry dad, and seeing that I had to feel powerless, otherwise I would hurt him, and that would mean that I would lose his love, which would mean death to the little one. So there's all these utilities of why we've kept these beliefs in place, but they're no longer serving us. And this phase, I love Kiloby inquiry and the whole methodology and all the insights I'm having. It's just really helping to see the mechanics, and also to understand that a lot of this condition, now this is what I'm here to explore and keep going with, is to understand how much of these physical symptoms and the parasites and the mold and the chronic fatigue and the brain fog and the sore muscles, how much of that is the emotional repression. That's what Scott, I'm in a small group mentorship with Scott, and he said to me, because he had a spinal issue and chronic pain, and so there is a physical element to his condition, there was, but he discovered that a whole bunch of it was just his repressed anger, and a lot of it went away by really just going and working this anger, this repression for a long time. It takes a while. It's been repressed for lifetimes. There's a lot in there. So yeah, like the mission, or just the understanding I'm having is I need to balance, because sometimes the fatigue is overwhelming and I just need to rest, and I can't be doing the anger repression work 24/7. I mean, I really yell and scream. I really get into it, and it helps. It's helping a lot. I mean, like, I'm making this video, like, my creativity's coming back, my confidence is coming back, my throat chakra is opening. There's a lot of good things happening. And I need to pace myself and have the balance and understand there's also this physical component going on. I'm on a whole supplement program, and I'm getting rid of parasites, and the body is healing, and it also needs time and space and love to have time to heal. Like the other day, right before I passed the parasite, I was just immobilized in bed, but I was also releasing that feeling of like, I'm not going to make it, I'm going to die. And it was really intense. And I've been there so many times. But that's the kind of emotions that are connected in with the parasites. I'm going to post my written explanation of this, like the insight, but the parasites, just like the belief systems that we've adapted in order to survive as children. So rather than get punished again and again, get yelled at, or we tried to not attract attention to ourselves. And in order to like compromise our authentic expression, we had to believe something about ourselves. And that kept us feeling more safe and getting the love in our environment. So they served a purpose, but they also, these beliefs are incredibly toxic, and they turn the ego back on itself, and it causes the self-hatred and harming and like addictions, and we torture ourselves because we compromised our authentic self. But it kept us safe, it kept us alive, but they're not serving anymore. Same thing, the parasites have eaten the heavy metals that we've been in this toxic environment of heavy metals and toxins and everything. And the parasites have come along to protect us, protect our bodies from the damaging effects of too many heavy metals. But the parasites are sucking our life force energy and not allowing us to be authentic either. And so like this is all linked as we do the emotional work, and as like the emotional work, the repressed emotion is held in the fascia and the organs of our body. It's energy, right? It's dense energy that's in a knot. And as we release, as we welcome in the emotion, feel them, it opens these dense places, and it releases the toxins also that are held in there. And it creates a higher vibration environment. And if we're taking, supplements to kill parasites also, the parasites are holding on to the emotions also, and the heavy metals. Like it's all connected. I'm not explaining it clearly, but I see that connection between it. So as we feel the emotions, the parasites can no longer live in the high vibe environment, but they release the heavy metals and toxins, which then circulate in our system, which then cause more intense emotions. So sometimes our symptoms can get worse, and our emotional intensity gets worse as we're passing out, as we're releasing toxins and parasites, and the mold is leaving our body. And so just for myself, seeing the importance of a lot of self-care, supporting the detox pathways, keeping the lymph flowing, getting exercise every day, doing dancing or rebounding or dry brushing, making sure I'm pooping twice a day, drinking a lot of water, lemon water to support the liver, and lots of baths, and just we need to support our detox pathways while we're doing this deep emotional work. It's important, because otherwise the toxins just circulate in the body. And I've learned that the hard way. If we try to kill And if we try to do this work too quickly, the healing work, the detox work, the emotional work, our system can't handle it. So we need to build up the strength. We need to make sure we're supporting our body and our ability. Also, this is why presence is so important. We nourish our connection with the being and the presence. And then we slowly make this, we reconnect with the subconscious, which is also our little one. We create a space of safety and connection with them for them, the subconscious, to release deeper and deeper layers of our repressed trauma. It can't all happen at once. And we have to create this trust and safety. We have to be the loving parent for ourselves and learn how to do that and what that means. And what that means is we become the love, the spaciousness, the presence for all of this to arise safely within. And sometimes it takes you out. Sometimes it's like full identification with it. But afterwards, as I'm experiencing now, the being is here, more brighter than ever. There's this sense of like inspiration and aliveness, and I can keep going, a sense of like, okay, I can keep going even though I like almost get taken out so many times. It's the Plutonian journey. Yeah, so just that's the update. Like, I'm in no way healthy, like, but I'm getting better, and I have these tools, and I'm making connections in the Kilobee members area, which just feels really sweet. Just other people who are on this path who are suffering really badly, but they're ready, and they're wanting to free themselves from suffering and to be willing to go and do the work. And so it's a lot of kindred souls in that space. So just the astrology is so intense right now. Pluto is at the 29th degree of Capricorn, and that's the energetic degree. It's like where the crisis point comes. And then South Node is in Libra, so there's a lot of seeing where we're out of integrity with ourselves, where we're still compromising, where we're still codependent with others. For me, it's in my 6th house, so it's all about health and yeah, body, mind, health, and doing the work I'm doing. But I feel like, the end of January, things are going to lighten. But really, like the more grounded, less magical thinking perspective that I'm realizing now is like, this is going to be an ongoing, deepening journey of inquiry and continuing to see where I'm sabotaging myself, where I'm still believing things. But there's an excitement in that because like there's tools to face all the intensity. So the tool is like a daily practice of big, huge Greek tragedy style releasing, like really getting into it, and it's not hard for me right now because there's so much discomfort in the body. It just translates into it, letting it out emotionally, and also like really making the mind-body connection of like today I was working with my neck and shoulder pain and seeing, and then what came is like, it's my responsibility to fix my family, and it's my responsibility, and I can't do it. Like, I have to fix them, and just rapid firing into that and feeling the anger that I took on that role I failed at it. And just the anger that I came in and assumed that was my role. So there you go. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put the website below if you're interested in getting a facilitated session with somebody or joining the membership area for 2 weeks for free just to check it out. Yeah. And one thing I want to do is actually interview people who've been in their program for a while that have had chronic illness like myself and have had good results. So I can get inspiration for myself and then share it with you guys too. So let me know how you're doing. Let me know your thoughts. Lots of love and peace out.